got a good thing.
This was intense. At some point this was more or equally emotional to Endevour versus the Nomu. I have like 6 note cards here, you know, written down what happened and so on and so on. And then the last 20 minutes just... Oh, this was not good for my emotions and my heart, man. God damn it. Okay. Alright, guys. So this is not going to be a reaction. This is going to be more a review than a reaction, because reacting to a 1 hour and 43 minutes long movie would be impossible for YouTube and for the copyright for My Hero Academia. So this is impossible. So I will make a review. I will show some, you know, pictures, screenshots in the you know, while I'm talking, and I will play some scenes, trying not to be, you know, copyright on this one. But yeah, man, My Hero Academia 2, Heroes Rising, 2 Heroes, you can call it however you want it. I can already say, for me, in my generation, and now I've seen, you know, various Dragon Ball movies, various One Piece movies, the latest movie Stampede. This movie was the best freaking movie made until now, if you consider you know, shonen animes, especially the last 40 minutes. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Delicious, delicious. All right, man, let's get to the chase. And before I say it, if you didn't watch the movie already, here begins heavy spoilers. So spoiler alert for all those who don't want to see it until they saw the movie. Okay, so basically the first thing that happens, we start off with a 3D car chase, which is not typical for My Hero Academia and the animation style, where the League of Villains attacks, you know, well, they're being chased by the heroes, and they're attacking, you know, back attacking the heroes. We see the major guys in the bus that they are you know, driving. Not everybody from the League of Villains is on the bus. Like Compress is on the bus. The Fake Stain, which name I forget every time, and Dabi. And the one thing that, you know, did it for me at the start of the movie was a scene between Endeavour and Dabi, where, you know, they break through the chasing cars, they stop the heroes behind them, and who awaits them at the front? It's Endeavour. And basically it's Dabi's blue flames versus you know, Endeavour's mighty flames. And you know, at the end it's a prominence burn and everything is done, although that were only twice clones. So yeah, a fair fight, and really a one-on-one. I don't think we will get that in that we won't get that in anytime soon. So yeah. Then we see Hawks at the scene, which is basically an after effect of him and Endeavour, being closed together, and yeah. Then we get the Deku intro. 90% of all the popularity of the people have quirks and so on, which is basically, I think, every season that starts is like this Deku start. And yeah, man. Then we are on a island, and we see the two kids that were shown in the trailer, which will, if you didn't watch it until now, play a big role in the upcoming scenes and the trailer. Because the Class A students are on a project, they're on an island where heroes retired, and nobody lives on that island except from 1,000 inhabitants, and the Class 1A will have hero duty on this island. Yeah, they're basically alone. They have no help from the pro heroes, nothing. They do all the office work, the phone calls, etc., etc. And then we got a funny scene where Deku speedboats Uraraka and who else? Momo? No. I forgot already. But it was a funny scene. And at that moment, you can see because it was daylight in the scenery that was at that point, the visuals were amazing. So this was freaking nice. Then we see inhabitants, how they thank the Class A students because they helped them on the island, and etc., etc. They're bringing them food and so on and so on. So we got the siblings there, so a young brother and the older sister, and one of the phone calls is like, a brother, he lost his sister, he can't find her, etc., etc. Don't want to spoil much more. We get to that point that we see that she got a bit of an attitude problem. In a following scene, we see how Deku trains his kicks, and at that point we see something that is very much likely starting to get the epicness out of this movie, and we see the successors from One for All, and we saw everyone's faces clearly, not like the one side cut at the end of season 4. We see them on top of each other. So this was a nice thing that happened here. Of course, Kachan demands a one-on-one after Deku masters One for All. This could, be in another 20 seasons. So yeah. Then we get the information that the League of Villains is planning something. They still have the drug from Overhaul. They're using it to some extent for their plans. They got new outfits, which some of them suits well. For example, Shigaraki looks very dope. I won't display here a pic because you can see it yourself. And yeah. Then things get interesting. And here we are already like 40 minutes into the movie. And There appears a guy. His name is Nine. This this sounds like a fairy tale. His name is Nine, and he was on the truck that the League of Villains drove. Um, he was in a, you know, biological like container. At this moment, we didn't know what will happen with this guy, but we see him, and he has a crew, and they look dope as hell, like for real. And yeah, man. Then after some scenes, we see uh, we see a scene where Nine gets a quirk because he has the ability to steal quirks like one for like all for one, but it's a little bit different. Don't want to explain that further. Watch it yourself. Um, of course, there is a limit to that, but that will be explained in the movie. Then we got again the siblings. They're playing a prank on Deku and Kachan, which is basically they called them for help but didn't need any help because she has a quirk which is you know, illusions, and she made an illusion from a villain which looked like a monster. Kachan attacked it, and well, it didn't sit well with him, let's say it like this, and she's a bit afraid now. Yeah, man. Then we get to know that she actually dislikes heroes because her brother wants to become a hero, and she's worried about that. So that's why she keeps, you know, acting like that and has an attitude like that. Which is where Midoriya gets a mom flashback because that as well happened to him. So yeah. Then we get another scene where the young brother, I will say just his name, Katsuma. Katsuma comes back to the, you know, hero office and basically tries to apologize to Deku, which he gladly accepts. And Bakugo overhears the whole conversation that they're having. Then we get some backstory about their family, and so on and so on. Then things get even more serious. We get to the point that this group gets on the island and attacks it. And I will name the characters because they are ferocious. Especially one guy. And I don't mean the leader 9, the other guy. Villain, Chimera, Mummy, and Slice. All three of them have dope quirks. Like Mummy, for example, has a quirk where he wraps you know, things with his bandages, and they're coming to life, and he can control them, throw them around, etc. He can't do this though with living things, so it's not possible with humans. There comes a point where Lida becomes a leader, and you know, discards all you know, the groups to help at certain locations. Mummy fights against a group which is not the strongest one, but they get backup. you can watch that yourself. One of the villains goes down. This is Mami, and Deku encounters Nine alone, and he attacks him with a St.Lois Smash, which, you know, it looks dope, man. What else can I say? And Nine tries to steal his quirk. And I knew at the moment this couldn't happen because it's impossible to steal One for All. It was designed to counter All for One. So how could a guy could steal a quirk like that? It wouldn't be possible, you know. He tries though, and we see him trying, and while that happens, we see the successes of One for All, and he gets repelled, you know. Nice. I like that kind of stuff. Deku gets a beating. We have to say it, you know, it was like that. You can't do anything about this. This guy is just too strong for one person. But Bakugo comes to his aid, with an amazing animation, if I can say that. And we get an attack from the villain that is, you know, way too overpowered, and it has to, you know, do with the quirk that he stole recently. And yeah, man, this was not nice. A group of heroes of the class 1A heroes comes to aid to Kachan and Deku because they are in a pinch. They manage to get them away from Nine, because at this moment he was at the limit with his powers. Bakugo and Deku gets injured, and you know, not half-hearted. It was a serious injury for these two, and we get to know what Katsuma's quirk is, and it is regenerating cells, so he can basically heal you. And this is the major plot, while this villain Nine is, you know, directing his, so basically Katsuma is his target because he needs you know, regenerating cells, because his quirk, which steals quirks, requires that for, you know, not destroying his body. There have a goal which is, you know, different from the League of Villains. The League of Villains want to counter the Hero Society, but Nine and his followers want a power society. So a society which is reigned not by heroes, monsters, villains, just by power. So the strongest one is on the top, and I get why he gets this feeling. He's so strong, man. Like, for real. Then Momo creates a drone and sends them flying to someone or some island nearby. I didn't get in which direction she sent them for help. The next thing you know, Deku is planning, you know, how they counter this villain, and they come up with a geniusly idea by splitting them apart. And I will just, you know, count these things by a name that I've written down. I will not explain what will happen. I'll just, count them down. So we got an Aoyama plus Ultra. Then we got Momo cannons. And I don't mean her cannons, I mean real cannons. Then we got Zero and Uraraka tag teaming, which basically involves later on Mineta. So this is a dope combo as well. So we have Tape Guy and Uravity. Then we got, and I can't believe they really did it, we got Tokoyami Dark Shadow Wolverine. This is hella crazy. Then we got a plus ultra from Uraraka, and by plus ultra I mean like strong attacks, Yeah. Then we get to see they're attacking 9 because the combo 3 are attacking 9. That's what I'm saying. So Zero, Uraraka, and Mineta. The other 2 villains that remain are being attacked by other heroes. Yeah. Then we got the group of Shoto, which I didn't mention until now, because they're fighting one of the villains, Chimera, and this is a 4-on-1. So you can imagine how strong this dude is when he is going against Todoroki, Kirishima, Lida, and Tsuo. She played a big part, don't get me wrong, but these 3 alone, 2 of them were present when Stain was beaten, so it's not something to take lightly. Then we got to continue the counts. We have Unbreakable from Kirishima, which is one of his most baddest moves. Then Shoto almost freezes all of his body because he uses so much ice. So you just hearing this stuff, when this would happen in a season, this would already be OP and epic as hell. But it all happens in one movie, and this is so dope. Then we got a powerful combo between Deku and Bakugo. X-Catapult. Then after that we got Chimera going out of control against the 4 of them. We got Tsu playing a major part in defeating Chimera. We got Dark Shadow Rage moments. There is so much going on, man. 3 more things to say until I've stopped, taking notes. And this last half hour of the movie just kicked so much in that I didn't want to get my eyes, in the way of not seeing greatness. We get a freaking tornado. We get Howtzer Impact from Bakugo. We get 100% one for all from Deku. And the siblings shout to them, "Don't lose." And after this moment, fuck them notes. Because then the thing happens where this movie gets, you know, the best movie title from me. Because the epicness in the animation, I cried, I'm admitting it, this was way too much. Like, for real, way too much. This was the most freakish thing I saw in the last 2 years, I think. And in the last 2 years there were so many dope anime things, but this one, oh my goodness. Yeah. This movie is getting from me an 11 out of 9. Out of 9, not out of 10, 11 out of 9. Which is, it was just so amazing, man. The only thing I can say is go watch it on a streaming site or pay for it or do whatever you want, just watch it. Because this deserves to be seen. It is so impactful and you won't regret it. I swear to God. And yeah, man, like I said, I will you know, include pictures and maybe some of the animations in between, so you don't just get to see me talking. And yeah, man, I'm SM Bro. This was SM Bro Reactions, guys. This movie is freaking amazing, and goodbye.